The No New Friends podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. For the best in below-the-waist grooming, visit manscaped.com. Use promo code NNF for 20% off. That is manscaped.com. During this meal, again, it's a flight day and I need to go smoke. So I find this alleyway. And again, I had been drinking since 10 o'clock in the morning. So at first I FaceTime Mary and have a lovely FaceTime conversation.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was a good time.
Then I FaceTime Chris. Now, Chris answers, and he goes, "Hey, man, it's a bad time." Chris is nude because Chris is taking a shower.
I took your call, though. I did take your call.
And he took my call, and I'm like, I did want to talk to you, but not that bad. So if we could just end this, that would be great. But also, hey, one more thing before you go. I want to tell you this idea that I have, and then we were on the phone for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I dried off and everything.
Wow.
I had to put him on the floor for a second to dry off.
Oh my God.
Tell.
I was like, Chris, what's that tic tac in the sky? Anyway, so
he's like, damn, Chris, you have to take advantage of using code NNF on manscaped.com.
Broadcasting from the Sandpiper Vacation Studios. It's time for the No New Friends podcast. The podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. The good, the bad, and the funny.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's showtime. It's showtime.
That's right, you're listening to the No New Friends podcast, voted number 1 by our friends and family. We are the podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. If you'd like to connect with us on all of our social media links, just go to our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. While you're there, check out our really sweet merchandise, but not Jabba the Hutt because the Walt Disney World Corporation had us taken down. And then you can join our clubhouse and become a friend with benefits. That's our Patreon. You can watch us as we record these things live. You can be eligible for all sorts of giveaways and all that. And also, don't forget, there's only a couple more days to vote for us for vote.orlandoweekly.com. That's the Best of Orlando competition under the category Local Notables, Best Local Podcast. And then, throw me a vote for Best Local Radio Voice. I don't care. Again, I feel really uncomfortable talking about it myself. But, it's just a really big thrill to be nominated, to be on the list. It was a big surprise, but again, I don't like to talk about it. My name is Scott. I am the host. With me, my amazing co-host, the queen of taking my late night phone calls, Mary. Everybody's favorite food truck critic, Sarah.
Hello.
Our producer, Alex.
Hola.
And Jabba the Hutt, the scumbag reselling hoarder himself, Chris.
Hello. My family and I were looking for sex.
European vacation.
Yes, Mary.
Oh, very good, Mary. Oh, I should have known. That's the theme with all the vacations. Chris, it's so nice to have you back.
Thank you. Even though you don't text me. You text outside the group chat now.
Whatever. I'm the king of texting annoyingly and double tapping and triple tapping and going, guys, can I have some attention? Chris, I'm very sad to hear that your theory of eating McDonald's preventing you from getting COVID is no longer true, but eating McDonald's will prevent a positive test. So congratulations, still no positive test.
Yeah, I do think it's just the flu, Scott. I don't think it's COVID. I do think it's just the flu. Because like I said, yes, my family all has COVID and we do share symptoms, but my two tests came back negative. So I think it's just coincidental that they have gotten COVID. I'm immune to it, but I coincidentally got the flu at the same time as they got COVID. So yeah, still COVID free.
Now, let me ask you a question, Chris. Because your gay percentage has risen so much, are you sure you stuck that thing up the right hole?
Actually, it's more accurate that way, Scott. So joke's on you. Yeah, joke's on you.
Gotcha. Well, I've been holding on to some stuff, and Chris is going to talk about his trip to the motherland of Germany. But first, I have to tell you guys about my trip to Arlington. Okay, so I went to Arlington a couple weeks ago for a funeral.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wait, what?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm already confused as to why this is a full topic. You went to a funeral?
Yeah, I was really excited about going to this funeral. It's a military funeral at Arlington National Cemetery. And that's all I kept telling people is I'm just really excited about this funeral. Well, karma bit me, and we'll get to that. So I don't fly well. I enjoy the flying experience, but I don't fly well. So We got to the airport.
You mean because you're like very drunk? Like you?
No, because I'm scared of flying. Love the experience, scared of flying. A little bit of turbulence, I freak out. So anyway, so 10 a.m. at Terminal C at the beautiful Orlando International Airport. I am hammered.
Oh, the new terminal.
Yes, the new terminal. It was the highlight of the trip.
Nice.
It was like the Mall of Millennia.
Yeah.
Compared to like Fashion Square Mall, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
So my father-in-law told Rachel, there's no need to rent a car. The hotel is 5 minutes away from the airport. The cemetery is 5 minutes away from the hotel. There's going to be transportation waiting for us at the gate. There's going to be transportation from the chapel to the cemetery. No big deal. We're all good. So anyway, drunk at the airport at 10 a.m. Now, the lady at the counter called, we're in group A, and she says A for airplane. I lose my mind because I'm like, can we not get more creative than A for goddamn airplane? So I go up to her and I see her name tag is Anna. And I'm like, why not A for Anna? And she's like, well, I'm not really allowed to, but I really like that. Maybe I'll just do that. So that's the first awkward encounter. Then I get onto the plane and the flight attendant is giving the boarding announcements. I stop the line. I hold up the line to ask her if she somehow loses her voice, if I could continue on with the announcements.
Oh,
That's very nice of you, Scott.
Scott, I want to disappear right now.
I said, Judy,
I can
said,
only... Judy,
I love the
oh
sound-
God.
I said, Judy, I love the sound of my own voice. So it would be my honor if I could take over for you. Like, put me in, coach, if you happen to, pop a vocal cord and you cannot continue on with your duties of doing the announcements.
Did she give like 3 winks to the marshal that was like on board, like just to keep an eye out for
I
you?
definitely had to
Because
sit in the jump seat for the rest of the flight.
oh, was that it? Yeah, I bet.
Underneath each of your seats, but in the case of a crash, first, please like and subscribe to the New Friends podcast.
Yeah, right.
Before you reach for your flotation device.
100%.
Chris, that was the plan. That was the plan, was to drop the link on the airplane. So
Just airdrop it.
yeah.
to
Why didn't you
every
airdrop it?
Sarah, it's funny you say that. Anytime I'm in like a pre-show at Universal or Disney, I may or may not have airdropped things before.
That's perfect. Wait, things?
Well,
wait, what
podcast
else?
things. Podcast, just the podcast. Nothing else. No D-pics.
Oh my
nothing
God.
inappropriate. Just the podcast link, Sarah.
I don't know
Get your
though,
mind out of the
because
gutter.
if I were
always
to get
there.
airdropped something I didn't want, I would immediately go and give you a bad reading. Like, how dare you invade my privacy?
All press is good press.
All press is good press. We're independent podcasters. We're trying to make it in this crazy world. We have to compete with Joe Rogan. The only way that I know how, because I don't have a marketing director, the only way that I know how is to airdrop inappropriately at pre-shows in the theme parks.
All right, continue on.
Well, if you have any better ideas, please send them my way. NoNewFriendsPodcast@yahoo.com. So we get to Arlington. We check into the hotel, which does not have a bar. The plan was to take a cab everywhere. Now, I'm old, but I'm not old enough to recognize how great Uber is. So we're at the airport and I'm telling Rachel, I'm like, can we just order an Uber? Like the ride share is right there. It's going to cost us 90 cents because I get $15 off a month with my Amex. So she's like, okay, let's do it. It was a beautiful ride. We get to the hotel, we check in and all that. No bar. So we are meeting my in-laws for dinner. We're going downstairs, meeting them downstairs, and they come downstairs and I'm ready to order the Uber.
The only person I know that's like, you know what we need to do before this funeral? We got a pregame. I'm very upset. There's not a bar here. I'm sorry. Continue on.
The funeral was the next day, Mary. And
oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah. So this was the night before. And
oh,
again,
you're right. Because if you show up hungover and your eyes are bloodshot, it just looks like you've been crying.
Exactly.
God,
Now, her
God.
uncle passed away like 3 months prior. So it was like the perfect wedding because it was a military funeral.
Wedding?
Funeral. It was
He's marrying the soil.
it was a military funeral. So you are at the whim of whenever they say your time to be buried has come. So like nobody was grieving. Everybody was happy. It was like, that's how I want my funeral to be. Let's wait 3 months and then we could do the service, make it a big party, play the best of No New Friends podcast. It's fine. So we go out to dinner and I'm sorry, let me back up. I try to go order the Uber and they're like, well, no, we've already called a cab. And I'm like, okay, so it begins. So we get in the cab and like I'm ordering Uber XLs, you know, so that it's comfortable, it's nice. The taxis in Arlington, Mary, are like, you know, like used cars taken off like the junk lot. Like they're creaking and you can hear like the belts squealing in the engine.
But I didn't even. So it's like your car. You feel very at home.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
I didn't. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know that cabs existed anymore. Is that really a thing? There's like a fleet of vehicles ready to go.
Yeah, we went back in time, Mary. It was like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Well, Bogus Journey.
Yeah, not so excellent. Not so excellent.
It was definitely a trip to hell and back. So,
look, but Ubers are great too, though, because they always have all kinds of like accommodations for you.
Yeah,
they'll have
sometimes
phone chargers
or mints.
Yeah,
yes.
There's some of them that'll give you a little mini bottle of wine. A little something, a little scissor for the back.
You would pay attention to that, Mary.
I saw it on a TikTok, actually.
What's great is, you know, you put in the address of where you're going. They pick you up right where you're at. They take you to the address, and then it's paid through the app. So you don't even have to worry about anything. There's no interaction afterward. It's swiping the card or handing cash or whatever. So the cab comes, we go out to, and my father-in-law says, take us to Georgetown. Well, the taxi driver's like, well, where in Georgetown? He's like, a bar. And he's like, I need a name or an address. I can't just take you into Georgetown. And he's like, well, take us to the corner of Wisconsin and Nebraska or whatever. So he drops us off and we go to this restaurant. Now, this restaurant is called Martin's Tavern. And the server comes out and says, this restaurant has served every U.S. president from Harry S. Truman to George W. Bush. Apparently they're racist and Obama was not served there, but every president from Harry S. Truman to George W. Bush. And in fact, JFK proposed to Jackie there. Oh. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Now, my mother-in-law is like, that's not true. He's just telling us that we're, you know, and I'm like, okay, this is Washington. We need to fact check. So I went and I fact checked. Sure enough, JFK did propose to Jackie at Martin's Tavern. So the food was terrible. But so during this meal, you know, again, it's a flight day and I need to go smoke. So I find this alleyway. And again, I had been drinking since 10 o'clock in the morning. So at first I FaceTime Mary and have a lovely FaceTime conversation.
I remember that. Yeah, it was a good time.
Then I FaceTime Chris. Now Chris answers and he goes, hey man, it's a bad time. Chris is nude. Because Chris is taking a shower.
I took your call, though. I did take your call.
And he took my call. And I'm like, you know, I did want to talk to you, but not that bad. So if we could just end this, that would be great. But also, hey, one more thing before you go. I want to tell you this idea that I have. And then we were on the phone for like 30 minutes. I dried off and everything.
Wow.
I had to put him on the floor for a second to dry off.
Oh my God.
Tell.
I was like, Chris, what's that tic tac in the sky? Anyway, so
he's like, damn, Chris, you have to take advantage of using code NNF on manscaped.com.
Speaking of balls, if you want cleanly shaven balls, manscaped.com, use promo code NNF for 20% off your purchase. So I after dinner, my father-in-law is like, let's go have a nightcap. And I'm like, wait, what? Like we're in, we ordered an Uber. I won the Uber debate this time. And it was great. We were sitting on this outdoor table and the Uber came right to the table to pick us up. Like there was it just like right to the table. It was beautiful. And my father-in-law says, let's go get a nightcap. Now, Mary, I'd worked late the night before. I had 3 hours of sleep. I've hit a wall. And I'm like, I really don't want to do this nightcap. But he's like, yeah, take us to the bar by the hotel. And the guy's like, the Uber driver's like, I have the address to the hotel. What bar do you want to go to? He's like, I don't know, the one by the hotel. And he's like, I need a name or an address. So finally, like the Uber driver was great. He zooms in. He's like, ragtime. He's like, yeah, ragtime. So he drops us off and I walk back to the hotel. It's that close. And I go to bed. End of day one. So day two, funeral's supposed to start at 8 a.m. Okay. We wake up and we head downstairs and they're like, okay, go ahead and order the Uber. And I'm like, oh, no, not ordering it. Let's take a cab. And they're like, no, just order the Uber. And I'm like, nope, please, let's just take a cab.
Why were you against the Uber all of a sudden?
I'm glad you asked, because I knew how the rest of the day was going to play out, and it played out exactly how I knew it was going to play out. So let's get there. Okay. So I order the Uber. Reluctantly, I order the Uber, and I'm like, I need to put in the Uber where we're going. And they're like, Arlington National Cemetery. And I'm like, okay, that's a big place. Where? They're like, the main gate. Okay. Main gate. Great. Uber driver picks us up, takes us to the main gate. Well, the main gate is the main tourist gate, which does not open until 8:00. By the way, it's raining and cold. I need to emphasize that it is raining and cold.
How is it cold? It's the middle of the summer.
It's in Washington. They have different type of weather. It was like,
is it always? It's always cold there.
Hold on, Mary. If it's 92 degrees, it's cold for you. Okay, so I don't want to hear that. It was
but like you're never cold.
It was sick. I'm not, but in the rain, I am. It's 68 degrees.
Okay.
Cold and wet.
All right.
Okay, so the gatekeeper says, exit here, take three consecutive rights, you'll be there. And my father-in-law says, it's the Hatfield gate. And I'm like, okay, information that would have been great initially when I was putting in the Uber address. So the driver takes us there. Well, that's not the gate that we need to go to. And then my father-in-law says, we need to go to the old chapel. And I'm like, again, information that would have been great to have when I was putting in the address into the Uber.
Wait, do they send out like that information for the funeral to begin with? I feel like you probably should have had that.
Right? We should have.
But you didn't? You didn't receive, how did you get invited to this funeral?
Mary, I was just along for the ride. This was
Did you RSVP for the funeral?
I'm sure we did. We had passes to get, because this is on a military base. We had to go through clearance. We had passes and all that.
And you made it through, especially after what you said to Judy earlier?
Yes, I did. I was not on the no-fly zone.
Wow.
No-fly list. So here's the thing, Mary. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all four of us have these security passes. Does our Uber driver have a security pass? More on that in a minute. So after 3 gates, we finally get to a gate, and they're like, okay, you're here, but your Uber driver cannot go any further. Okay, fine. We're supposed to have transportation, right? I mean, that's what you all said to me. So my father-in-law then looks at my wife and says, next time rent a car. This is after telling my wife.
He said you didn't need a car.
Right, exactly.
Unbelievable.
So, reminder, it is cold and it is rainy. And they're like, well, the chapel is right down the road. It's a little bit of a walk. It'll take you about 2 minutes. So we are walking in full funeral gear in the rain. It's cold. We get to the chapel. Well, we look in the chapel. There's no one there. 2 military personnel come out and they're like, are you here for a funeral? And they're like, we are. They're like, okay, that is at the old chapel. You're at the memorial chapel. Oh, okay.
How many chapels are there?
This is a huge military base, Mary. It's a huge military base. So they're like, it's about a mile down the road.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, God.
Again, we don't have any transportation, and it's cold, and it's rainy.
It's going to be a no from me, dog.
So we walk to the chapel. Okay, it's now 8:15. Funeral we thought was supposed to start at 8:00. Luckily, either everybody else was late or the funeral actually started at 8:30, because we're walking up the same time as Rachel's aunt is walking up. So we go through this military mass. It's a Catholic mass, and it's been a while since I've been to church, and I realized how ridiculous the Catholic mass is. We definitely got our workout. We got the abs from the up and down, up and down, up and down. But listen, it was a beautiful ceremony, especially like when the doors opened up and the entire Air Force band is there. And it's this huge thing because he was a colonel. So it was like all the pomp and circumstance. So we get outside, and I was under the impression that there was going to be a caravan transportation provided. No, everybody's getting into their personal vehicles.
Were you guys like, can we catch a ride? Can we just get in the back of this hearse? How do we get out of here? Can somebody help me out?
I almost did. But, the chapel is right by the back gate of Arlington. So I'm like, well, I guess we're walking. The Air Force is walking. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us. Mary, Arlington is 629 acres. It's huge. So we meet this very nice old lady, Gertrude. Her name was. I would have sworn her name would have been Mary, but it was Gertrude. She was German. Super nice lady. God. And we ask her for a ride, and she's like, "Oh, okay, sure." We're these crazy white people.
What? Whoa, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You just were like, hi, Gertrude. How's it going? You look like you probably own a Lincoln Continental. Can I ride in your car?
By her car. She was standing by her car. It was a full-size SUV.
And you just happened to be passing by? You never met Gertrude before?
Never met Gertrude.
Didn't your parents teach you not to get in the car with strangers?
It's fine. I was with Rachel. Rachel's
just for times.
Tough. It's fine.
It'd be fun actually getting whatevered by the old elderly woman with your wife.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I don't really know.
probably a fantasy of yours.
Stop. My mom also told me not to meet people that I've met over the internet, and I had Chris stay at my house the very first time I met him.
He could have killed you easily.
He probably wanted to. So we
couldn't find you so many damn rooms.
He tried. It wasn't for lack of effort.
So we get the ride with this lady to the cemetery, and she's like, I'll take you to the reception afterwards. It's on the military base. We're like, oh my gosh, you're super sweet. I say to her, I said, listen, after the funeral, if you could just get us off the base, we'll take an Uber to the hotel from there. My father-in-law says, excuse me, no. He goes, we're getting a cab. I'll pay for it. And I'm like, okay, fine. We'll get a cab. So she's like, no, I'm going to take you to the hotel. She's like, I want you to have good memories of Virginia. And I'm like, lady, that ship has sailed.
Wow.
So she takes us to.
Okay, hold on, though. I have a question.
Yes.
What business was Gertrude conducting at this cemetery?
So she was there for the funeral. Her late husband was good friends with Rachel's uncle.
So that makes it a little less weird. I thought it was just a random person that was at the cemetery.
No, carpooling.
Yeah, I was getting that vibe too. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just like, hey, I know that we don't know each other. And then she's like, actually, I love Virginia so much. I want you to have good memories.
For lovers.
Yeah, it is. And we love for you to love us. Also.
Well, listen, she could have been there. She could have been a funeral crasher. You never know. I mean, it worked in the movie Wedding Crashers. Maybe that's what she was doing. So the plan was after the funeral, we were going to go sightsee. We were going to go to the National Archives to see if I could steal the Declaration of Independence and one of the Smithsonian's. Well, we were so done. At this point, we're cold, we're wet. It wasn't the greatest experience with the whole taxi versus Uber thing. So we just watched a South Park marathon for the next several hours.
That sounds like a great day.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Until dinner. Now, my wife says, hey, they want to know if we want to go out to dinner. I'm like, not really, but sure, why not? Let's do this all over again. So we get downstairs and my mother-in-law hands me a sticky note. And on the sticky note is the address to the restaurant that we're going to. And I'm like, what's this? She goes, it's the address. And she goes, just go ahead and order the Uber. And I'm like, nope, I am not ordering. I'm done with the Ubers. We're going to sit here. And she's like, just order the Uber. It's fine. So I order the Uber. Now, my wife says to my father-in-law, now be nice because Scott had a 5-star passenger rating and that guy did not rate him very well. Like he's down to 4.86. He's like, why do I have to be nice? Maybe if he knew where he was going, then we wouldn't have gotten there late and all wet and all that. And so now this argument starts. We get to the restaurant. Dinner was okay. They didn't carry straws. And my server saw that I was a little bit disappointed in that. So he goes next door to the restaurant next to him and got me a straw.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a memorable service experience. So we're done at this point now. Like we're not supposed to fly out till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon the next day. But we're so over being in Virginia that we get to the airport at 10:30 so that we could just get our drink on and be done with Virginia. Oh, at the end of dinner, right? They order a cab that we wait for 50 minutes. That's 50?
50?
50?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, Uber could have been here in 3.
Uber already knew where you were. Somebody was waiting.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
So we get to the airport and I start drinking heavily. We get on the plane. We're leaving. We're flying to Orlando. Well, before we left, we were delayed on the tarmac because the weather in Orlando was terrible. So we're delayed on the tarmac. Okay, fine. So then we get going. We're supposed to land at about 3:48, but now with the delay, it's about 4:30 that we're going to land. So we're coming into Orlando, and all of a sudden I see on the map that the plane's turning, and I'm like, "What? Why is it turning?" But it's okay because it's turning back to Orlando. I was like, maybe there's an air pocket that they were trying to avoid. But then we turn away from Orlando again, Mary. Captain comes on and says, hey, so with the delay that we had in Arlington and the fact that we've been circling now for a while, we don't have enough fuel to land in Orlando. So we are diverting the plane to Tampa. We've already had the worst week ever. Okay. At this point, we're laughing.
My question is, how did you get home from Tampa? Was it an Uber or a cab? Which one did you choose?
Mary, you are jumping way too far ahead, okay?
Because that would be my first thought. Would be, we're trapped like rats. How are we getting out of here?
So, Mary, the problem is it's rush hour, okay? And I look on the Google Maps to see how long it would take to get home. It was going to take like 3 hours.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I'm like, you know what? Let's just wait here in Tampa. And they did come on the plane and they're like, hey, if you don't have luggage that you've checked and you would like to get out of the plane, we're not unloading luggage, but you can take a cab, rent a car, whatever, you can do that. And we're like, well, we're just going to stay here. So about 30 to 45 minutes after sitting there, the captain's like, okay, I just filed the paperwork, so we're going to start fueling. And I'm like, you're just now starting to fuel? Like, bro, just swipe your card and fuel the goddamn plane. Like, what are we doing here? So
do you think it's like, I can barely fuel my car. So Mary, I could understand. It's probably very frustrating to do it.
Neither could the guy that was fueling the plane. I look out. This guy has no idea how to fuel the plane. He's like, blue wire, red wire.
Because you do. Rachel fills your car up for you.
That's true. So the guy, actually, it's Jeffrey, our butler, that does that. So the front desk guy comes on the plane.
I thought his name was Joffrey.
That's right. It is Joffrey. I forget. I have so many of them. So the guy comes on the plane again and says, listen, at this point, it is we are no longer legally allowed to let you sit on the plane on the tarmac, or whatever. So we have to now deplane. Chris, it's 6:30 at night. Okay, we've been at the airport since 10:30. You know what you can't do once you enter an airport? You can't smoke. You can't smoke. So 10:30 in the morning, 6:30 at night, no cigarette. So we're waiting.
Sorry for your loss.
We're waiting in the terminal. So I finally go up to the desk guy and I'm like, hey man, I'm like, if it's going to be much longer, can we get like a new boarding pass that says Tampa to Orlando? And then so we can go smoke. He's like, oh, this terminal has a smoking area right there, gate 18. Now, Chris, I was like, it was like a caged in, like kids were throwing seeds at us, but it was fine. I had a beer. I had cigarettes. No big deal. So the announcement comes on and he goes, all right, we are now clear to take off and fly in Orlando. And everybody's just cheering. He's like, however, your pilots have timed out and we are now waiting for new pilots to come. So we're like, of course this has happened. Our pilots are sitting at Chick-fil-A dining on some chicken nugs. So finally, we board the plane. We were supposed to land at 3:30. It is now like 9 o'clock at night. I've watched most of the NBA draft at this point. So we board the plane. Pilot comes on. Pilot says, hey guys, so we were the pilots of this plane after we were supposed to pick this plane up in Orlando, take it to Syracuse. He goes, I was watching the plane on the radar, saw the weather. I said, there's no way they're going to make it here. He says, so me and my team jumped in an Uber from Orlando to Tampa to get the plane. So moral of the story, Uber for the win.
Oh,
wonderful. We're glad you made it back.
12:30 in the morning. We made it back.
Well, better late than never.
Better late than never. All right. Before we go to break, guys, we have another phone call, but it's not the sophisticated gentleman. This is our new mystery caller.
Hey, Mary. This is your Starbucks barista, Carmen. I knew when you pulled in your berry blue car with your hood popped up, this was somebody that definitely had their life together. I felt their connection too when my hand grazed yours. It really did send chills down my spine. You can have extra cream in your coffee anytime you want, baby. Let me tell you all about myself. I'm a Gemini. My favorite animal is the hermit crab. My favorite food are Boston cream donuts and sourdough bread dipped in ranch dressing. My favorite candy are Peeps and the black jelly beans. Anyways, I have to go back to work now, but I do look forward to when that berry blue car comes into my drive-thru again. You can drive through my carport anytime you want, baby. Bye.
What?
What the hell just happened? I'm sweating. I don't know what to do. I don't. Oh, God. Lord, help me. No.
So now we know her name is Carmen. We know a little bit about her now. So hopefully Carmen calls back again. You never know.
Oh, God.
But she listens to the podcast. So, and it seems like the feelings are mutual. So.
Oh, for now. She's probably going to dump me after she knows that I'm on this show. She listens to some of the old episodes. She's going to dump me.
You're listening to the No New Friends podcast. When we come back, Chris recaps his trip to Germany.
Hey, you want to join a cult? Well, this might be your lucky day. For just $2 a month and a simple blood oath, you can join our clubhouse and become a friend with benefits. In addition to the amazing feeling of donating to the poor, you will have access to Patreon exclusive content, live shows, and maybe even a behind-the-scenes look at my secret stash. To get started, head on over to NoNewFriendsPodcast.com and hit join our clubhouse. Can't wait to see you at the initiation ceremony. Oh, and in the chat during our live shows, of course.
Hey, everybody. Why don't you give the old Black Lincoln Collective podcast a listen? We're funny, we're fat, and we're here 24/7 at blcpodcast.com. Anytime you want to listen, anywhere, all your favorite podcast apps. Of course, we have a YouTube channel where you can stream live with the show. Check out our shorts. We're funnier the less you hear of us. That's been a Black Lincoln Collective podcast at blcpodcast.com.
If you'd like to hear all of our episodes, all of our past episodes, just visit our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. All of our links to all of our old episodes are there. If you didn't understand an inside joke or just wanted to re-listen to something, just check it out. It's nonewfriendspodcast.com, or you can check us out on all streaming platforms.
This is the No New Friends podcast, and I am Carlos Alberto Navarro, bro. Listening to No New Friends podcast, and I'm out, bro.
Welcome back to the No New Friends podcast. Thank you so much, Carmen. Mary needed a breather. There was a lot of laughs, and you can see some of that stuff by joining our Patreon. Just go to our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com, join our clubhouse, or you can watch us on Twitch every Wednesday night starting about 8 o'clock. We stream most of segment 1 and then After Dark and all sorts of good stuff. So check us out.
It got a little hotter in here.
It's not the holiday season if the malls aren't any hotter than they are.
'Tis the season to be merry.
Shit, that's my name.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm still flustered. I just need a minute. Go ahead, Chris. Tell us about your week.
Yeah, tell us about Germany.
Yeah, tell us.
Is this it? Oh, it was fun.
All right, so are you guys ready to play Jersey Man 4?
Well, so as a lot of you know, because you listen to the podcast, we got a house, right? So when you get a house, there's a lot of stuff you have to submit to the mortgage company, and then the underwriters have to confirm all that stuff. So you have to submit a bunch of stuff. So I reached out to everybody. I was like, listen, I'm not going to be in the country from this date to this date, right?
That already sounds really sketchy and suspicious.
Now, the day we were recording this, we're about a little over a week before settlement. So I just got back a few days ago. And so obviously, most of the stuff should be in already. Like, most of the stuff they need to see, they should know. So I can get it to them. So I was like, listen, I'm going on vacation. I'm going to be in Germany. I cannot do anything in person for you between these dates. I can make phone calls and I can answer text messages and emails, but I will not be able to do anything for you. So anyway, my vacation begins the day before vacation when I'm at Target picking up some last minute items. Last minute items meaning most of the clothes that I took with me. And I have this weird thing where I buy all new toiletries to go away with.
You have to.
Like new deodorant, new toothpaste, stuff like that, right? And
wait, what? Why?
Because it's not a vacation unless it's fresh. It's not.
You make them travel size for a reason.
Yeah, what, you reuse that stuff?
Oh no, I don't buy the travel size stuff. I buy standard size.
Sarah,
stuff.
Look at Chris. Nothing about travel size.
Well, I mean, listen. In all fairness, I don't get to go away for that long either, so I only need a travel size amount because I'm only gone for 2 days.
You always got to bring more. Yeah. See, listen.
That's like Mary. She's travel size.
If you want to talk about my anxieties. It's gonna be a whole nother episode. But listen, I just do it, all right? Just take my word for it. So I pull into Target. Again, this is the day before we leave. On the furthest trip of my life, right? And I pull in and I get an email and the appraisal came back on the house. Appraised for way more than we got it for.
Wow.
Like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. In this market, like how did this even happen? Right? So this is a huge victory, right? So I call my mom, I call Emily, I call my dad, I call my in-laws. Like we basically just made money on this house, and I was like, wow, this is great. I'm walking.
Clean up aisle 4.
Then I get an email.
Reselling hoarder.
I get an email.
Chris's reaction and his pants were just like Mary's going to Starbucks.
I get an email walking in the doors of Target. Another email. And my God, probably just confirmation. They just said, no, it's from the underwriter this time. Hi, we're going to need A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I think there were 7 different things, right? And we're going to need this within 24 hours. I was like, oh, well, that's great because I have less than that. So you're going to get it.
Yeah, it's going to work out.
So now I'm walking through, and it's not like easy stuff they're asking for. They're like, get a certified letter from your CPA. Like stuff that like I shouldn't be able to get.
If you can't get it certified, store-bought's fine. Like what is that?
I'm like, what is this even? So I'm like, oh God. So I'm like stressed out. I'm in Target with no reception. I'm like emailing my dad like to try to like, get in contact with him. Hey, can you call our accountant just so we can confirm what we just sent last week is valid? So that was so my day before. Not only did I wait to the last day to pack, but I now had to do all this stuff too. Deposit money, show bank statements, like all stuff they could have told me like the previous days, but they waited until the day before Germany. They really want to know how serious, I guess.
But don't you feel more excited about it? That it was just like, right? Like
after, it gets better. It gets better, Mary. So I get all that stuff done. And I'm like, wow, this was actually, it wasn't easy, but I got it done. Didn't think I was going to get this done, but I got it done. Right. So got all that done. Boom. Then we go on this plane ride. We drive up to Newark, which is like an hour away. And we leave from Newark and we take our 7-hour flight over to Germany. So we leave at 6 p.m. Like around there, Eastern Standard Time. And we're at the airport in Germany at like 7:30 a.m. And so it's like the beginning of the day for them. It's like 3 a.m. for us. I was like, we were all like so beat. And so that was like the jet lag thing is very, very real. Like I still have not adapted to the jet lag. It's just horrible. Everyone should just be on the same time. I don't understand it.
Mary, you know what's really funny is Chris always uses jet lag as an excuse. I called him 4 weeks ago on a Tuesday and he goes, oh man, I'm sorry, I'm really jet lagged. I was like, did you go on a trip? He's like, no, I just woke up.
No, it's just a different time in Japan right now and I just don't know.
It's really 11 a.m. Like just uses, yeah.
So the reason for this trip in the first place, I don't know if I talked about this, my aunt is in the army and she's stationed over in Germany. So we go to the town that, why'd you look at me like that?
I don't know. I was more
like
looking at Sarah to see her reaction.
I didn't want to ruin his story, but I was thinking it like, oh, another military operation in Germany. Heard.
hey, USA.
I'm just kidding.
Well, you didn't really specify, to be fair. You didn't say.
It's ancestral PTSD. I'm sorry.
So I go into this town called Landstuhl, right? And that's where she lives at. And really interesting little town because everything in Europe's like way older than here because it was, civilized before we were,
because they're way older than us. Yeah.
Right. So we're going through this nice, like, historic little town. But the other thing that's weird about Europe is, like, they have red light districts. So we're walking to the train station, and I wrote down some of the names of the strip / I guess prostitution clubs. Tennessee. It was Tennessee, but instead of S's, they were Z's. So it was pretty exotic. Men's strip, very just right into the point, just men's strip. And then my personal favorite, nothing but ass, and ass is a money sign. and I did take pictures of the old job, put on the Discord later. So you want to see these? Go on our Discord. Yeah, nothing but ass. Yeah, nothing but ass. And it was funny because in the mornings, like, all
Mary's
the
new coffee order too.
It is. Let me tell you.
In the morning, all the windows were open, like they were airing the places out. So anyway,
is that a caramel cold foam? No, they're just airing out the nothing but ass.
So that's in a quaint little town too, by the way. I guess it's not a big city. It's like a quaint little town that has these places. It's a whole little town, a whole little part of the town for it. Anyway, the breakfast there. Do you want to talk about the breakfast there? The breakfast, they eat lunch meat for breakfast, which I thought was kind of weird. A lot of salted meats and cheeses and stuff. And did not get to enjoy a lot of the coffees there. All the coffees there is banging, but I just didn't want to poop in public. So I did not.
Wait, did you not poop the entire time you were there?
No, I actually just went for the first time yesterday after my 12-day fast.
God.
Pooping. No, I'm kidding, but I'll get to that.
Okay, good.
Okay. And please ask questions if you guys have any questions, because there's a lot of differences here. They don't have Diet Coke over there, Scott.
What?
No Diet Coke.
Okay, I'm going to cross Germany off my list.
Yeah, it's called Coke Light because they have banned aspartame, I think it is. That's in Diet Coke because it's apparently it's causes cancer. And
that's fine. So does cigarettes.
Wait, but the processed and salted meats that they serve for breakfast don't? I mean,
they don't care. They don't care about that.
Okay,
Scott, speaking about cigarettes, I did take pictures of these, but I don't know where I'm going to send them. All of their cartons of cigarettes have severe like medical like issues on them, and Sarah's nodding like she's seen these before.
I have.
Like, oh
yeah,
my
they have like
God.
pictures of the lung and all that.
It's the exact same thing over in Asia. They do the exact same thing.
My gosh, I took pictures. I was like, what? I took like a selfie with like a dead like grandpa like in a hospital bed. I was like, this is crazy because I just hold the carton. They do have vending machines with cartons of cigarettes though. So I did start smoking. No, I did really want to start smoking. It never looked so appetizing. I think it's everywhere but the United States because we got chat saying same in Canada. Like it's everywhere but the United States cares about your health. But you know what's funny is even with these pictures, there's more people that smoke cigarettes over in Europe than in America combined.
Oh yeah,
it's like
I made bad choices when I lived overseas. I bought them anyways.
Good choices, Sarah. They're all good choices because here's the thing: secondhand smoke kills worse than first. I made the right decision. God damn it!
Wow. Wow.
All right, I'm going down this list here that I wrote. First souvenir I bought. Any guesses?
Trump bumper sticker.
Oh.
German Pokemon cards.
Naturally.
German Pokemon cards, yes, naturally. And a lot.
Von Pikachu.
Von Pikachu. Everyone there speaks English. Nobody doesn't speak English in Germany. I've learned after going to Germany that the only people who hate Americans are other Americans and maybe like Russia. But like, oh my gosh. Like people in Germany love Americans. You won't walk 10 feet without seeing like a New York Yankees hat or like American this and American that. I had this one. There was this foreign guy at our.
It's because we brought them David Hasselhoff.
Wait, hold on.
Love that guy.
Technically, weren't you the foreign guy? That guy just lived there.
No. He wasn't from Germany. He wasn't from Germany.
So you're both foreigners.
Yeah.
It's like going to China and ordering Chinese food. It's just called food there.
But since we were from America, like he was just there, like just talking to us for so long. And then he like when we left, he like tapped his heart. He's like, God bless the USA. He was telling us, there would be no Germany without the USA.
To be an American.
Oh God.
And after he said that there'd be no Germany without the USA, I was like, yeah, I guess you're kind of right, because I guess that because like a lot of their history, like a lot of their existence is because we stepped in World War II. And so it is kind of interesting. So after that,
I walked around mad over there. I just started see like in Clue, the flames are shooting out of my ears.
I just started signing autographs with people and stuff, and I just started speaking very Englishy. And
Englishy, like come on back, y'all. You hear?
No, but like everyone spoke English. Go on,
get.
Like I try to speak German to someone and they just respond to me in English. And by trying to speak German, I just meant like I just say 1 beer, please. 1 beer, please. Now, if you really
how do you say 1 beer, please in German?
You just say 1 beer, please.
Oh.
It's pretty universal. If you think that like the stereotypical, Germans, they drink, there's a bunch of beer, like you're totally wrong. It's worse. It's way worse. Oh my gosh. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's the greatest thing ever. So
maybe I'll add Germany back to the list.
It's more popular than water there, which by the way, they don't drink really still water. It's all sparkling water.
I love that.
I don't believe in that. But most of the sparkling water is just beer.
It's actually with hops, sparkling water and hops.
You can get a beer anywhere. Like you go to ice cream parlor, beer. You go to a drugstore, they don't have drugstores. Like you can't go to a CVS and get medicine. You have to go to an actual pharmacy. It's kind of weird. I guess it was weird to me. It was very like scary to me. Like, what if I need my Pepto-Bismol? I'm gonna have to need a prescription or something. Spoiler alert: I didn't, because I brought 6 bottles. But so it wasn't a problem for me. I'm gonna save this Olympic Park story for last because this is my favorite story. So one of the days we go and visit a concentration camp, and I did say to everyone, I'm not going to make any jokes about the concentration camp, but I do want to talk about some of the behavior at the concentration camp. So I'm going to this place, right, for historical purposes. Like, okay, want to, just learn about this place. And
Mary, by the way, this is not the place for you to learn how to focus. The concentration camp. This is like a real place that bad things happen.
You've got to be kidding me. So I mean, bad things happen when I try to concentrate too. So like, I don't know.
So I'm like saying to my mom before we go there, like, listen, like this is not because my mom loves taking pictures on vacation, right? I was like, Mom, this is probably not a place you're going to want to whip your camera out and just start taking pictures. Like, I don't know if it's going to be appropriate even to be taking pictures here. I did not feel comfortable taking pictures at this place.
It's like taking pictures
on the contrary, I would take pictures there.
I just feel like it's like taking pictures at a funeral.
Like, I took pictures at a funeral. Hold on.
Yeah, well, there's the difference.
At a funeral. I got the gun salute. I took pictures of the graves. It was I've got a whole photo album that just says Arlington Cemetery.
So anyway, so I did take pictures of the memorials there because I thought that was like in good taste.
Okay.
I'm taking pictures of these memorials, right? But oh my gosh, we're on a tour, right? And this guy's like, all right, now here's the crematory. You could fit, however many bodies in here, and it's very like heavy. People running up to the front to take pictures of the ovens. I was like, what are you going to do with those? Like, what are you going to post them to Facebook?
Maybe they're ghost hunters. Maybe they're trying to see if maybe they find an orb or something.
Judith was not a ghost hunter. She was like, she was posting this right to Facebook.
That's like people who take pictures in Pompeii. And like you see the mother embracing the child, like engulfed in lava, and people are taking pictures. I'm like, that's a body right there.
There was pictures of, and not to be too graphic, but there was pictures of dozens of bodies piled up, right? Like just a picture to inform you. It's like, oh, this is, people were taking pictures of the picture. I'm like, why do you want that?
Like, let me just get a selfie with me in this, like, just like a.
Oh, there was this girl from South Africa, and it said Philadelphia on her front. I wanted to say, oh, nice shirt, but then she started taking pictures of all this stuff.
You're like,
I don't want to be associated with you. Yeah, and then we're in the freaking gas chamber. People taking videos and pictures. I'm like, I like, what are you like making TikToks? And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, they're like doing the different dances.
Yeah,
like
yes.
little,
like, I don't understand. What? Okay, you take a picture of it. Okay, what are you doing with it? What are you doing with that photo?
But to be fair, there are a lot of situations, I think, when people just don't know what to do and they want to like remember it. And they're like, well, maybe like people.
Listen, it would have been a great place for Sarah to take an unflattering selfie, though. Like, take this, Germany.
I don't discriminate on location, so
I don't discriminate on location.
Yeah, Chris. The thing is, not to get like deep on this, but it just shows how desensitized we've become.
Yeah, I think
100%.
so.
I mean, like
100%.
How many imploded ship jokes did I make last week?
It's a good point.
Death is funny.
It's a good point.
And we even make jokes here, which are like so bad.
Sure.
They're so bad. And it's just our we're desensitized to stuff that happened before our time.
But I can walk away from a joke. I don't know what I'd do with a picture of a gas chamber on my phone. Like, I just don't know what I'd do with it.
Right.
That's really what I was wondering when people were taking these pictures. Like, what? Like, okay, you're here taking a picture because it's fascinating. But what are you doing with that picture?
The only thing,
are you sitting down with your grandchildren?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing. Honestly, if I were to be there and I did take those pictures, the only thing that I could think of that I would use them for would be to like show my children. Like, hey, I know you didn't go with me, but let me show you.
Yeah, benefit of the doubt. Okay, I can clarify that.
I thought you were going to be like, if you're bad, this is what's going to happen to you.
No,
that's what I thought you were doing.
I wouldn't pay for a plane ticket to do that. I can do that in a friggin' fire pit out back. I mean,
oh my God!
What?
That night we ended it with a beer tour, and that was a lot later of a tour than the concentration camp, but. Do you recommend going there if you can handle that kind of stuff, because it was very educational and but anyway, I have a lot more to share, so let's just move this to the third segment. And do we have a call from the sophisticated gentleman, Scott?
We do. We do have a call from the sophisticated gentleman. We have two things from the sophisticated gentleman. We've got his phone call, and we also have kind of a in this day in history thing and how to celebrate them. So let's just do in this day in history real quick. So Sunday, July 9th, and let's see what day in history it is and how to celebrate it. I'm very excited about this new segment.
Today is Sunday, July 9th, 2023. I'm here on my covered bridge in the kitchen, celebrating National Don't Put All Your Eggs in One Omelet Day. This day was created to remind us of the importance of diversifying our investments and interests. To celebrate today, you can create an omelet bar, go out to an omelet restaurant, make an omelet for breakfast, have an omelet cook-off, visit an omelet farm. If I have to say omelet one more time, I'm gonna die.
All right, and then here's our call from the sophisticated gentleman. Now, I'm very excited to see what happens next. He found you, Chris, and you had some not nice things to say. And you didn't join the Wolfgang. That was sad. So I'm wondering what's happened next. So let's find out from the sophisticated gentleman.
Hey there, NNF squad. I've been on the run for a couple days now. After that whole failed deal with the devil, with the whole Chris Yob thing, the real devil's now coming after me because I failed at his job. Finally, though, I've made it to the Amish community like Chris suggested. Just gotta round this bend here. We've been spending most our lives living in Amish. Oh, wow, look at this place. There's the barn that Dane wanted Chris to move into. There's some horse-drawn buggies and some houses and a barn. This place is honestly kind of boring. Oh, look, there's the Book of Amish Regulations. See if that can help me out any. Apparently the Amish aren't allowed to use any musical instruments, and they're not allowed to take photos, which I guess would be a good thing for Scott, because he wouldn't be cracking any more cameras. They're also only allowed to use hooks on shirts, not buttons, which I guess would be helpful for Chris, because he's not able to button the buttons as is. Man, the NNF crew would actually fit pretty well into being Amish. Look at this, the Amish education is limited to the 8th grade. Being from North Carolina, that's what Gay Master Ryan's used to anyways. Oh, wait a minute. The Amish limit the use of modern medicine, which means I'm not sure that this would be great for Mary and Chris with their pill sorters. And they're not allowed to serve in the military, and they only wear plain clothing. I'm not sure that would be great for Scott's Hawaiian shirts in his closet, and all his fedoras and everything. and mustaches aren't allowed. Ooh, there's definitely some different traditions with the Amish. What's this next one? If a person who has become the devil converts to being Amish, they are no longer the devil. I guess that's my ticket out from this curse. Gonna start shaving off my mustache here. I will officially become Amish. Oh look, there's an Amish elder. Sir. Please come over here. Could you say an Amish prayer to make me become Amish?
Unser Vater im Himmel, dein Name los heilig sei, dein Reich los Kummer, dein Wille los Gedu sei, auf die Erd wie im Himmel, unser täglich Brot gib uns heit.
Well, I guess this is my last call-in since I won't be able to use phones anytime going forward. Been great knowing you, NNF Squad. Here's one final question for you. Has anyone else been known as Tricky Dick?
All right, so he doesn't have a phone. We don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, no.
That was the best sophisticated gentleman call I think we've ever
Can we send him a pigeon?
I don't know, maybe. All right, you're listening to the No New Friends podcast. We'll be right back.
Picture it, St. Augustine, Florida, 2022. You're on the Night Watchman Ghost Tour with all of your ghoul friends. The air grows colder, you turn the corner, and there she is, Ghost Mary. Okay, you probably won't run into Ghost Mary. You may see a ghost named Mary. I'm not really 100% sure, but the tour guides for the Night Watchman Ghost Tour from See America Tours do know it is the only 4D ghost tour in St. Augustine. So if you have ever wondered what a ghost smells like, well, now is your chance. And right now they have a scary good deal going on. Enter the promo code NNF, as in No New Friends, and receive 25% off your Night Watchman Ghost Tour. So visit them at seeamericatours.net. That is SEE americatours.net. Okay, bye.
Hey there, Scott here. You all know I like to spend time wandering the neighborhood on my big wheels or hanging out at the park with my fedora and my Bud Light. So I don't have time to clean my own house. That's why I've been using I Believe services for the past 6-7 years, and they're the best in commercial and residential cleaning. They're also doing carpet shampooing at such a reasonable price. Just check them out. That's ibelieveservices.us. Give them a call, 407-928-4595, and tell them that the No New Friends podcast sent you.
There are 3 things that I hate in life: taxes, nausea, and booking vacations. The first 2 I'm stuck with, but for the third, I use Sandpiper Vacations. Sandpiper Vacations is a small business that is LGBTQ+ owned and operated with travel advisors all over the country. Whether it's a cruise, a trip to a theme park, or an all-inclusive resort, Sandpiper has you covered. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it's free. Why book a vacation when you can have someone else do it for you? That's like choosing to take the stairs in a building that has an elevator. Leave the headaches of booking a vacation to someone else. Get your quote today at www.sandpipervacations.com and tell them that the No New Friends podcast sent you.
Hi, this is Bruce Valanche, and you're listening to the No New Friends podcast. Unless they look like Matt LeBlanc in the early days, he could be my friend.
Welcome back to the No New Friends podcast. Right before break, Chris was talking about concentration camps, but now we're going to transition to a much lighter, a much happier part of Germany. Correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. So for this story, I did go to what's called the Eagle's Nest, which was Hitler's gift from his longtime girlfriend for his birthday.
We're gonna transition from
we didn't get much better. We were from concentration camps to Hitler's.
Well, listen, it was a beautiful spot. That's where they took pictures with all the mountains in the background.
Oh my God, stop.
So I do. So there was this. So you have to take this really long elevator. You have to take this long bus ride up to the top of this mountain, and then you have to take an elevator up to the peak, and then this place called the Eagle's Nest, where the Nazis had their like parties and stuff, right? So I do want to invite the ghost of Hitler right now to this
Sarah's
podcast.
like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
To tell him what a bitch he was. No, to tell him what a little bitch he was. Because guess what? He only visited that place 13 times because he was afraid of heights. And he was afraid that lightning was going to strike the elevator. What a bitch. I went up there. I was fine. I'm afraid of heights, Hitler. I wasn't afraid to go up to the top of that thing. That wasn't scary. You're on a mountain. What's a mountain going to do? Fall? You're on a mountain. Come on, man. Hitler was a little bitch, dude. And it's funny because like they were like, yeah, man, he was like afraid to go up here. I'm like, why? I mean, you're just going up a mountain. What are you gonna fall off the mountain, Hitler?
And if you want to see Ghost and you're in the St. Augustine area, check out the Night Watchman Ghost Tour. Just go to seeamericatours.net. That's SEE Americatours.net. Use promo code NNF for 25% off.
Only if you're not a little bitch like Hitler.
The Ghost of Hitler.
Only if you're not a little bitch like Hitler.
Yes. The ghost of Hitler is now dismissed. So we went up to the top of there, beautiful sights, and it's kind of cool because at first I'm like, okay, why are we celebrating Hitler's like summer home type thing? Then I realized, oh, it's because we made a vacation spot out of his place. Like America took it over during the war, and they used it, and now it's like some like it's fun. So what I've realized is like Germans like, hey, listen, don't let 12 years of our history define this country. That's kind of what a German would say. But no, seriously, they're like some of the nicest people I've ever met. And it's cool because they took all this stuff that Hitler once had and they're like everyone's like partying in these places of all the different colors and creeds and stuff like that. He's probably turning in his grave wherever unless he's still in Argentina. I'm not sure. He escaped to Argentina. You didn't read about that? We'll talk about that another time. That'll be Chris's conspiracy corner.
Oh God,
bring that back. But anyway, no. It's so what I. But in all seriousness, what I did realize is that like Germany has taken these places that were property of the Nazis, property of Hitler. Instead of just destroying them, they've repurposed them and like, all right, well, like listen, you didn't like these people, those people.
So
well, they're all partying here now. So screw. Yeah, basically, screw's getting the last laugh. So now it's it was really cool. It was really high up. There was a special bus you had to take up there, which it wasn't really special. I don't know. It was $32 a head to get up there to use this bus. So yeah, I think it was. I think that they said it was special.
At least,
$32 a head. But to get to the top of this peak, and then there was this crazy elevator. But the views up there looked like it was like out of a storybook. Husband of the Year award. Emily FaceTimed her mom when we're up there, and she's, we're not all the way up to the top yet, and we're walking up this little mountain, and first of all, kind of hard to breathe up there because the oxygen's a little low. So I'm taking my time because I don't want to have a panic attack.
No, that's just your weight, dude.
So Emily's FaceTiming her mom, and my dad starts darting. He's like, I'm going to go to the top, and he starts darting ahead. Well, my dad has a bad back. And it's like all rocks. So I'm like, all right, well, I gotta spot my dad. So I zoom off. Like Emily's talking to her mom anyway. She'll probably, she'll meet up with us. So I go and spot my dad. And we're up there for like 15 minutes. Like, where the hell is Emily? And I looked down my phone. I have no service. Oh no. So if she even tried to call, I wouldn't know. So I go down a little bit. I was like, hey, where are you? And she was, she had a fear of, because there was no like guardrails or anything at one point.
You were the guardrail, Chris, so you weren't there for her.
And me, guess I didn't even realize because I was just spotting my dad to make sure he didn't fall down the mountain. Yeah. And
Chris books it up a mountain, leaves his wife. Chris books it down a mountain, leaves his wife.
Basically.
And yeah. So, really what I'm trying to say is I am moving into a house next week. I do need a roommate. So if anyone wants to move in, no, I'm just kidding. No, it wasn't really that big of a deal. I did feel horrible about it though. So anyway, so that was the Eagle's Nest. We go down to this little town called Berchtesgaden, and it's famous for their salt. Really not that fun of a town, but Hitler's mentor was buried there, and it's funny because they have the guy's name because they needed to bury him there because he paid for the plot, so they needed to bury him there, but they didn't put dates or anything, right? They just put his name on the tombstone. And our tour guide is like, yeah, and like there's some like sickos that come here and like honor him. Like there was a candle burning at his thing. She said he was bald and had a fedora.
Are they wearing red hats? Make America Great Again.
I'm going to talk about my trip back to the States, and then I'm going to talk about one more story in Germany because it's the best story. And so on the plane ride home, I do want to publicly tell you guys I did poop on the plane, and it was I did.
Wow.
Twice, Scott.
Wow.
Twice.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, and the only reason I did is because there was a downstairs bathroom. Like there was like 5 bathrooms downstairs, so I just like hung out in there for a little bit because it was so much cooler in the bathrooms than it was in my seat. So I just hang out down there and go on my phone because I did spend $35 on the Wi-Fi, and I just kind of scrolled through Twitter. And
why not?
Mother Nature called. So
you just gotta relax and let it happen, man.
It was glorious. Now we did get back to the States in one piece because I'm here. It was a very long plane ride. I did survive though. Thank you for all your thoughts and prayers.
Not as long as mine being diverted to Tampa.
Oh my gosh! Somehow it's
So we did get a warm welcome back to Newark, New Jersey. Emily and I were with my parents. We were waiting for our driver to come and pick us up, take us home. And this African woman comes up to Emily and I with a mask, pulls down her mask. And we were like, what is she going to ask us for money or something? I don't know. And she's oh, it's hot out today. It's like, oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. And then she just turned around and threw up and walked away.
Oh,
I can't even make this up.
Then Chris said, "You've been hanging out with Mary from the No New Friends podcast."
She immediately walked up to someone, grabbed them on the arm while they were on the phone, and I just couldn't watch. But yeah, so it was a nice warm welcome to New Jersey. Now here's my favorite story from Germany, which I could not wait to tell you guys. So, and this is my last story of Germany, and then we can end this shindig. So. I went to a few places in Germany. Went to Landstuhl, which was where we were there for a couple of days, and we went to Trier, which is the oldest city in Germany, and then we spent a few days in Munich. And so the Olympics were in Munich, and I don't know if you guys know this, but oh my gosh, Holocaust was in the 40s, right? 30 years later. This terrorist organization killed a bunch of Israeli athletes at the Munich Olympics, which I'm thinking like, wow, horrible PR for Germany. First of all, like that sucks. Seriously, that sucks. Like you're just taking finally taking care of this horrible thing just happened, and then this terrorist group comes and kills more Jewish. That's crazy. You can't make that up. So anyway, we go to Munich, the Olympic Park. And you can see the apartments where they were kidnapped and everything, and it was just crazy. But there's a memorial at this park, beautiful memorial dedicated to the lives lost by the Israelis and then the one German officer. Before we went to that park, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, and my mom went up to the top of what I can only describe as the Space Needle, right? And they go to the top, and you can see the whole Olympic Park. I wasn't going up there. I'm not falling off a Space Needle on vacation, right? I'm not going up there.
I'm not doing it.
My dad stayed on the floor because he's afraid of elevators. So we all have weird irrational fears in the Odd family. So, but listen, I was definitely going to be afraid. I was definitely going to be afraid to go up there because there was a beer garden on the bottom floor. So you go to the beer garden, and we have no idea what we're doing. It is very foreign. I didn't even mention this, but the public bathrooms you have to pay for the public bathrooms. Everything is just different over in Europe, right? So I'm at this beer garden. I just called Emily my sister.
It's really funny. It's really funny. I went to hang out. I hung out with Sarah and Lewis, and Sarah has put you have to pay for the bathrooms at their house too. It's
so
weird.
Wow.
Make money where I can.
I do want to clarify. It was Emily, my wife, not my sister. My sister did not go to. So anyway, so they all went up. My wife, my mom, my aunt, my uncle. They went up to the Space Needle to do whatever. take pictures that I could have seen on Google. And then or Google, I was just on Google Maps, and I'm like, I see everything you see right now in a beer garden. So we're at the beer garden, and we sit down, and they're like, and they didn't take any money from us. They're like, what do you want? Do you want a big, medium? Do you want a small, medium, or big? I was like, well, the big ones. So I'll take the big beer. I forgot I was in Germany. And and they come over with a liter of beer.
A liter of cola.
A liter of beer.
That's a large
And they're like, you have
farva.
20 minutes for something. And it's like, so I looked at my dad, I was like, I think we only have 20 minutes to drink this. And they kept saying like, you have 20 minutes until deposit. I was like, I don't know what that means. Like, I have no idea what that means. So I guess that just meant I need to drink a liter of beer in 20 minutes, which I did.
I think that's,
I did it.
That's the only thing it could
I did
mean.
it. I drank a liter of beer in 20 minutes. And
let's be honest, you've been training your whole life for this type of situation, right?
I felt I was pretty buzzed after it was humongous. It was ridiculous. And then he comes over after 20 minutes and he's like, "Oh, do you want more?" I was like, "I thought you were closing. Like I thought you were closing in 20 minutes." I'm like, no. I was like, no, listen, I just want to pay for this. Then I just want to pay for this and get out of here. I can't drink anymore. So
I gotta go.
They were not closing in 20 minutes. I don't know what they wanted from me in 20 minutes, but they weren't closing. So so I paid and I'm on my way. And have I been training for drinking a liter of beer for a while? Yes, I have. I was not blacked out. I wasn't drunk. I was pretty tipsy. What wasn't trained was my bladder. My bladder was not trained, right? So they come down from the Space Needle. I finish my beer, and then we're like, we got to go. We're gonna go visit this Israeli monument. And so we're going over there. Sorry, I really need to pee. I'm like, okay, this is not good. Like, where's the closest wash closet? That's what they call bathrooms. They're wash closets. Just very sophisticated. Like, I wish we called them wash closets. But it's funny because they either go from wash closets, which sounds very classy, to just toilets. It's like it's like toilets or wash closet. So so we go to this Israeli memorial for the Israeli athletes and coaches that were brutally murdered during the Munich Olympics, right? I'm sitting there watching the video. I'm like, I really have to pee. Like, I really, really have to pee. So I walk away, starting to look for a bathroom.
Please tell me you peed on a monument.
No, why would you want him to say that? No.
This monument is this monument. This monument is in a hill because it's like it wants to show you the gravity of the situation.
It's shaped like a urinal. It says Armont on it.
So I left Emily and my aunt and uncle at under the bottom, and I walked to the top. And there was this really nice, like, on top of, like, directly on top of them more, like, I was standing on top of them, basically. I'm on a hill, and there's these really tall bushes everywhere, and
if you have a problem with tall bushes, manscaped.com for the best in below-the-waist grooming. Just visit them, use the promo code NNF for 20% off your purchase.
There were some nice benches up there for viewing, the park, and it was just a nice view. So then I walk back down. And then they're still watching this video that's going on. Beautiful video, but very long video. And I appreciated it, but I really, really needed to pee. So now now my intrusive thoughts are coming in. And I'm like, I need to pee. Like, I'm going to get a UTI or something. Like, something's going to happen. And I was like, I cannot go to the top of this monument and pee. I just can't do this. I cannot pee. And then I'm like, the content.
Oh my God. No, Scott, look what you've done.
But Scott was on one shoulder and then my conscience was on the other. I was like, I just can't do it. I'm just going to have to find a wash closet. I had my euro in hand to pay for the wash closet. So, we've seen enough of this video, right? No, my aunt goes, did you guys want to watch this whole video? I was like, no, it's okay. I've seen enough. I've seen enough of this. We can go back. So then we make like the mile-long walk back to see my parents. And I really, really have to pee. Like, it's like to the point where it's like I might die.
It's
like
coming out your ears.
Like I was just so prepared to just start peeing myself. Like I had no. I was very tipsy at this point There's a liter of beer flowing through me right now. It's in my blood. It's like my bladder is it's a liter of liquid. Like, it's so much. So we're walking through the Olympic Park, and I'm like, I need to come up with like an elaborate lie to get away from them, to just pee somewhere randomly in this park. Like, I just like, this is where it's come to, and I hate peeing in public. You guys know that, right? So we're walking around this like this cement area with these guardrails on this like very steep hill. And if you look at the Munich Park, there's these huge metal pillars that go up, holding up this fiberglass outdoor beautiful structure. So it's very cool, this fiberglass structure. So we walk around, and I just say to my aunt and uncle and Emily, I was like, guys, I'm gonna hate myself if I don't get a panorama picture of this fiberglass ceiling. I'll be right.
I'll have to see you later. I'm gonna catch you over there.
And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, go ahead. So I start running back, and I look around, and there wasn't really anybody there. So I ducked under the fence, under the guardrail, and I planted 1 foot on the hill, and I fell down the hill because I'm very tipsy at this point. I'm very tipsy. I fall and start sliding down the dirt, and then I go behind the big pillar, and I relieve myself. And then I pee.
And then you pee.
No, I go behind the pillar, and I answer nature's call, and I come back up. I brush all the dirt off me, and then I take a really shitty panorama picture of it, so that I can come back. And I came running back to them. I was like, "Oh, guys, it didn't come out as good as I wanted to."
In the lower right hand corner, there was some girl doing this unflattering selfie with their nostrils flaring.
Oh my God.
So anyway, I don't know how many people can say this, but I peed on the at the Munich Olympic Park.
Wow. Yeah, God.
Insult to injury. It's fine.
I restrained myself from peeing on the memorial. I just could not do it. I could not do it. But I knew that even the thought of me like possibly doing it would make Scott happy.
I appreciate it.
I literally just watched a movie on the massacre the night before. I was like, there's no way I'm peeing this. There's just no way. If I didn't watch the movie, maybe. But I was so connected to all these people.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Well, we're so glad you're back. We missed you, and
me too.
I guess you're leaving again at some point this month. So
in August,
okay, next month. All right, you guys ready to play Jersey Man, Florida Man?
Yes.
Yes.
Whether flipping a fan boat or crashing a truck, these states are filled with people who suck. So it's time for us to play New Jersey Man versus Florida Man.
Every week, Ryan brings us 2 news stories. One is from Jersey, one is from Florida. It is up to us to decide which one is which. Take it away, Ryan.
Hey guys, this is Ryan, coming to you from the No New Friends newsroom, located this week at yet another new job. Scott still isn't paying me enough to keep the lights on around here at the newsroom, so I'm still having to take on jobs. I'm now working as a police officer. I've been on patrol all day. Oh, wait a minute, guys. I'm sorry. I have to pull over this car. Hello, ma'am. Do you know why I pulled you over?
I have no idea what I did.
Your vehicle matches a description of a vehicle involved in some gay activity. Have you been harassing a Starbucks employee?
I don't know.
Well, ma'am, I have a list of messages sent to the Starbucks employee through the app. So you didn't send her a message that said, I like my women like I like my coffee, blazing hot in between my legs?
Maybe.
So you're telling me you didn't send her a message that said, can I get a spoonful of sugar? Or can I spoon you sugar? And also, ma'am, how many kids do you have in this car?
There should have been 8.
Good Lord, do you live in a shoe? So today's your lucky day. I'm going to let you off with a warning because another car just drove by that's known for harassing 7-Eleven employees. So while I go pull this other car over, let's get into this week's Florida Man or Jersey Man. So in our first story, a woman wins a hot dog eating contest by eating 39.5 hot dogs in 10 minutes. And in our second story, a man is accused of using candy to lure a 7-year-old boy into his car.
All right. Mary, what do you think?
Hot dogs, Jersey, kid with candy, Florida, 100% Scott. It was probably you. Go ahead.
Sarah?
I absolutely agree with Mary. I feel like I saw that truck drive by earlier.
Oh my God.
Chris?
Sorry, hot dog eating contest. Very close to Coney Island, New York. So I'm going to say New Jersey. And Florida, Sorry, Scott.
Well, we're going with a foursome because anytime it's a sex crime, Florida, and
why you can't say we're gonna go with a foursome anytime it's a sex crime in Florida. What? Don't say those things together.
The hot dog thing could be a sex crime.
All right, let's find out the answers.
So our first story is from Florida, where a Florida woman eats 39 and a half hot dogs in 10 minutes to win the Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest. Geez, do any Florida women have a gag reflex? And that means our second story is from New Jersey, where a man is facing charges after authorities say he used candy to lure a young boy into his car at a New Jersey Wawa's. Apparently, the boy didn't get into the car. So, Scott, what do you use to lure kids into the car? So, in other news, scientists are working on a male birth control that's showing some promising results in mice. I thought we already had a male birth control. It's called collecting Pokemon cards in your mid-20s. That's it from me this week, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Oh, my God.
Very nicely done.
Wow.
He's like, oh, this is probably my worst one.
That was impressive.
Should have known.
That was impressive. That was should have been 8.
That was good.
Chris, you got any cliff notes?
I do.
It's been quite the show. A lot of stuff's happened, so nothing can stop this little boy from recapping the day the Chris's Cliff's Notes way.
So before we got started off air, I did need to set some ground rules before I talk about my vacation to Germany. I told everyone that I would not be making any jokes about concentration camps. And why did I set these ground rules? Well, I listened to last week's episode, and I heard some super distasteful jokes about the Titanic submarine. And I wanted to let you guys know that I didn't think any of those jokes were very funny at all. And I'm glad I wasn't associated with making fun of that tragedy, to be honest with you. I would never sink that low. Anyway. I hope all of you had a great 4th of July. By the way, hold on. I do have to proceed this by saying that this was sent in by Game Master Ryan. I cannot take credit for this joke. I hope you all had a great 4th of July, relaxed, had some drinks. You guys down in Florida probably lit up some black cats, which is a type of firework. And in the occasion of Scott's vet tech, it was a calico about America.
Wow. Oh, rest in peace, Mama Cat.
Anyway, Scott talked about how he was in the same place that JFK proposed to Jackie, but that was pretty mind-blowing.
Chris, at the time we just had to watch Scott. We watched the loading signal for a little bit.
Sorry, that was too soon. Scott took an Uber to Arlington National Cemetery, which is actually the same cemetery that JFK is buried in. I bet that was
He used the same punchline in 2 back-to-back jokes, and it was still funny.
Scott talked about how he did a lot of up and down in the Catholic Church service. Did your childhood pastor teach you that, Scott? Oh, there's not too many clip notes tonight. But lastly, I did say there was a red light district in Germany, which I did actually sneak out to pay a visit. Sorry, Emily. I got there, and I thought it was very weird to run into a familiar face. Scott, it was really nice to see you there.
Great, yeah.
Now, what you guys might not know is, like, at these establishments, the girls walk down in the line, and men will say, in Germany anyway, ja or nein, which is yes or no, to accept or deny. We reached the end of the night. Scott just kept saying 9. It took me a couple minutes for me to realize he didn't know German. He was asking for a specific age.
Oh my.
Those are my cliff notes.
Oh my God! This
Scott,
is the
you
one
can keep that in if you don't want to.
Gets us canceled.
But I landed in Germany, and I turned to Emily. We're walking down the street. I was like, I have a perfect joke.
Oh my God. Short, but real, like maybe your best work.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's the one. It's the one.
Hey, this is Alex from Diz His, along with
Chris from the No New. Wait, what is this an ad for?
This is an ad for Diz His on No New Friends.
Oh my gosh, I'm so out of place. So yeah, we're on a Disney podcast, right, Alex?
Yeah, you and me now. We're doing a Disney podcast, Disney History, every week. On Tuesdays, it drops. Social media is Diz His Pod.
Yeah, if you ever need cleansing of the obscurities that you hear on this show, check us out on Diz His podcast, where we do something way more innocent.
And if you love Alex's segment, which is me, my history segment, then you'll love our full episode of Disney history.
Yeah, if you want a big load of Alex, listen to the Diz His podcast. You're going to love it. A little bit of me, a lot of Alex. It's like half and half, but a lot of Alex. A lot of Alex.
Whoa. There's a lot of you too. You also give up a big load yourself.
That's fair.
Chris, what do you have coming up on Diz His?
Before I get into that, Scott, I do want to say that it is not Pride Month anymore. So I do want to, I'm going to have to make my stance on the LGBTQ plus community a little bit more prominent. So I will be kissing Nick from Sandpiper live once a week. I think I'm going to be doing that just to show my support. I haven't asked him yet, but if he's as good as helping me prove to people that I support the LGBTQ plus community as he is at booking vacations, I'm going to be like the guy that supports the LGBTQ plus community. Scott, do you know what that means? It means that Nick books the best vacations that I've ever had in my life. Nick has booked me so good. He has booked me harder than any travel agent I have ever encountered in my life. He has booked me more tenderly and more gently and more passionately than anyone I've ever encountered. If you want to be passionately booked by Nick, reach out to him at sandpipervacations.com. Tell him the No New Friends podcast sent you. Happy Pride Year, baby. This is Pride Year.
Here for it.
Anyway, we're doing the Evil Queen this week on Disney.
That's what I say every night when I have sex with my wife. Just kidding. We're cutting that out.
I will kill you.
Because I don't have sex every night. So
oh my God.
I didn't know where I was going with this one because I didn't prepare anything. So it started off weird. But Nick, I'll kiss you.
check out Diz His on all podcasting platforms, social media. That's Diz His Pod, and you can check out some other great podcasts. We've got Ashes to Awesome, where Chuck LaFlange brings us through a journey of recovery from addiction. Don't Wreck Yourself, where Ryan takes on the things that are wrecking the internet and breaks that down for us. Also, the Black Lincoln Collective podcast, where Matt and his friends kind of talk about some cool stuff. They're really funny, and they're going to be coming on in August. So very excited about the Black Lincoln Collective podcast joining us. Also, on Wednesday the 12th will be the very first episode of Cases of Continuity, hosted by the Sophisticated Gentleman. And the first season is going to be all about the Bond series. He's going to be breaking that down for us. I'm so excited about that podcast. So make sure we check him out, support him. It's going to be great.
Hi there, my name is Ryan, and welcome to Cases of Continuity. Each season I'll take a deep dive into a different film, book, or television series. I'll examine each individual work and offer my opinion of it, but I'll also discuss its place in the larger series, its continuity, if you will. We'll take a trip through the history of how each work was created, who was involved, and how the final product came to be. Essentially, we'll be diving into both the factual and actual contexts for each series. For Season 1, I'll be discussing the James Bond franchise. 6 actors have played the main character, starting with Sean Connery in 1962's Dr. No, and since then, it has become the number 5 highest-grossing film series of all time. We'll head into all 25 official Eon Productions films and examine the gadgets, cars, villains, and of course, all the Bonds, with special discussions of the Ian Fleming books that each of the films are based on. The first episode will drop on Wednesday, July 12th, and I look forward to you joining me in our first Case of Continuity, James Bond.
Chris, what podcast do you recommend?
The No New Friends podcast. Okay. I recommend Studio 21, the baseball podcast with Big Country and C Money breaking down the MLB.
And if you want to learn how to threaten an umpire, just check out that podcast.
Greetings from the world of baseball. Baseball, the great American pastime. Although sometimes the game can go afoul. For example, there was the man who told a little boy's mother that he liked little boys. And in other news, a baseball podcast has made some terrifying remarks about the umpires of the game.
That's our little side note on umpires, and yes, Big Country had a little memory to share. I have quite a few with these idiots that I just blabbered out about. Lance Diaz, Angel Hernandez, and Joe West. But I'm glad that Joe West is gone. Enjoy your retirement, and don't even think of going to a ball game as a civilian. Just stay home. Enjoy clipping your coupons and collecting your Social Security and your pension. Just stay home. Don't even come out to the public, because if somebody sees you, they will kill you. I'm dead serious. Same thing goes for you too, Angel Hernandez. If you listen to this broadcast, stay home, clip your coupons, send people to get your groceries. Do not go out in public or you will be shot. I'm not kidding you.
Then we got Big Beautiful Diz, also known as our friend Dane. Just watch his YouTube channel, man. It's some good stuff. He just put a video out of the first Disney attraction, which is a very fascinating thing. Then we have the Podfather himself, our Lord and Savior. I pray him 3 times a day. Remy from Remy's Roundtable. And if you want to listen this week, we have Scott and the Sophisticated Gentleman on the same damn time.
Yeah.
Right, Scott?
That was a lot of fun.
On a bonus episode.
It's a bonus episode,
right?
Bonus episode, yeah. Yeah, there was someone else. Who else was on with us?
Oh, it's the Florida Theme Park Podcast with the occasional history of Nickelodeon characters.
And I did Scott summaries at the end of that episode.
Yeah,
that
you did.
Fun,
but if you really want to, if you listen to that on a weekly basis, you should listen to it on a weekly basis, because the Sophisticated Gentleman has a very fun recurring, not just fun, but really good recurring segment that he does on a weekly basis. It's been like a weekly basis, these tours that he's been given, and tour/trivia. It's called Trivia Time with Ryan. I think you could do better with the name, Remy, but it's Trivia Time with Ryan for now.
And Mary?
I don't listen to podcasts.
But a mental health moment.
Oh, I don't. Why do you ask me these things? I don't know. I'll ask. I'll find out one day. It won't be anytime soon.
Sarah, Nerd Archive, what's happening this week?
More Secret Invasion, more overall nerdy talk. So catch up on that for sure.
Check out all of those great podcasts. There's a link on our website to all of those. You can check us out. We're on all major podcast platforms, although you're hearing us, so you know that. Anyway, check out our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. Check out our sweet merchandise. Join our Patreon. Become a friend with benefits so you can watch this train wreck as it happens every single week. Vote for us. Vote.orlandoweekly.com for the Best of Orlando competition under the category Local Notables Best Local Podcast. On behalf of the Sophisticated Gentleman, Game Master Ryan, Starbucks lover Carmen, our producer, Alex, Sarah, Chris, Mary, I'm Scott. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
I love you, Carmen. Okay, bye.